Lost in the Kingdom of Spider-Man. Close your eyes and imagine a world where the stars shine brighter. Courage is the key to unlocking incredible adventures. Chapter 1. The Strange Discovery. On a quiet summer evening, a boy named Ethan was exploring his grandfather's attic. The room smelled of old wood and forgotten memories. Among the stacks of dusty books and wooden chests, Ethan found something unusual, a black and red spider emblem carved into the cover of an ancient book. Intrigued, Ethan opened the book. Inside was a map, unlike any he had seen before. The map was glowing faintly, with words written in golden ink. Follow the web of stars to uncover your destiny. Ethan's heart raced. What could it mean? He decided to take the book outside, where the night sky was filled with stars. As he gazed upward, he noticed something odd. Some of the stars were forming patterns, almost like strands of a giant web. Without thinking twice, Ethan whispered, "Show me the way." Suddenly, a breeze swirled around him, carrying him upward. He closed his eyes tightly as the world around him blurred. When he opened them, he was no longer in his backyard. Chapter 2. Arrival in the Web City. Ethan found himself in a breathtaking city suspended in the sky. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. Towering structures made entirely of shimmering spider silk, glowing softly in the moonlight. The air was filled with the hum of life, and tiny orbs of light floated like fireflies. "Where am I?" Ethan muttered aloud. A gentle voice answered, "You're in the kingdom of Spider-Man." Ethan turned to see a figure descending gracefully on a thread of silk. It was Spider-Man himself. He looked majestic, wearing a flowing cape made of intricate web patterns. "Welcome, Ethan," Spider-Man said with a kind smile. "I've been waiting for someone like you." "Me? Why me?" Ethan asked, his voice trembling. "The kingdom is in peril," Spider-Man explained. "Our greatest treasure, the heart of the web, has been stolen by the Shadow Weaver. Without it, our city will unravel, and all its magic will disappear." Ethan's eyes widened. "What can I do? I'm just a kid." Spider-Man knelt at Ethan's level. "Sometimes it's the smallest among us who make the biggest difference. Will you help us?" Though scared, Ethan nodded. Something inside him told him he couldn't walk away. Chapter 3. The Quest begins. Spider-Man led Ethan through the glowing city, explaining their plan. "The Shadow Weaver's lair is deep within the Whispering Forest. It's a dangerous place, but I'll guide you." As they journeyed, Ethan noticed that the Web City wasn't just beautiful, it was alive. Silken bridges sang when the wind passed through them, and the walls of buildings pulsed gently, as if breathing. The citizens of the kingdom, small, spider-like creatures with bright, curious eyes, cheered for Ethan as he passed. "You're our hero!" they cried. Their journey led them to the edge of the city, where a massive web bridge stretched across to a dark, looming forest. Spider-Man stopped and turned to Ethan. "Beyond this point, you must stay brave. The Shadow Weaver feeds on fear." Ethan swallowed hard and nodded. Chapter 4. The Whispering Forest. The forest was nothing like the luminous city. The trees were gnarled, their branches twisted into eerie shapes. The air was heavy, and whispers seemed to float around them, though no one was there. Ethan gripped Spider-Man's hand tightly. "What are they saying?" "They're trying to confuse you," Spider-Man replied calmly. "Focus on the light inside you. Fear only grows if you feed it." As they moved deeper, the whispers grew louder, but Ethan remembered Spider-Man's words. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and imagined the cheering voices of the Web City's citizens. Suddenly, the whispers faded, and the path ahead became clear. Chapter 5. The Shadow Weaver's Lair. At the heart of the forest stood a towering structure made of black silk, pulsating like a living thing. Spider-Man pointed to its peak. "The heart of the web is inside. Be ready, Ethan." They entered cautiously. Inside, the lair was filled with endless webs, forming a maze. At the center stood the Shadow Weaver, a terrifying creature made entirely of darkness, its glowing red eyes locked onto Ethan. "You think you can stop me?" it hissed. Spider-Man stepped forward. "Your power is no match for the courage of a pure heart." The Shadow Weaver laughed, and the room filled with swirling shadows. Ethan felt fear creeping in, but then he remembered the cheering voices of the citizens and the faith Spider-Man had in him. Chapter 6: The Power of Courage. Ethan noticed something glowing faintly beneath the Shadow Weaver. It was the heart of the web. But how could he reach it? Spider-Man began weaving a dazzling web of light, distracting the Shadow Weaver. "Now, Ethan!" he shouted. Summoning all his courage, Ethan dashed forward. The shadows tried to grab him, but he dodged and weaved, finally reaching the glowing heart. As he touched it, a surge of warmth spread through him, and the shadows dissolved into nothingness. The lair began to crumble, but Spider-Man swooped down, grabbing Ethan just in time. They soared back to the Web City, the heart glowing brightly in Ethan's hands. Chapter 7: A Hero's Return. Back in the Web City, Ethan placed the heart of the web on its pedestal. The entire kingdom lit up, brighter and more beautiful than ever before. The citizens cheered, their voices echoing through the sky. Spider-Man turned to Ethan. "You've done something truly incredible. You faced your fears and saved us all." Ethan smiled, feeling a sense of pride he'd never known. As a thank you, Spider-Man handed Ethan a small, glowing web crystal. "This will remind you of your courage and the friends you made here." Chapter 8: Back Home. In a flash of light, Ethan was back in his grandfather's attic, holding the crystal. The ancient book was now blank, as if its purpose had been fulfilled. Ethan smiled, knowing the adventure had been real. That night, as he lay in bed, he held the glowing crystal close, ready for whatever dreams awaited him next. And so, Ethan's tale reminds us that courage can lead us to magical places. Good night, dear dreamer, and may your dreams be as brave and bright as Ethan's.